Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever clicked on a website and seen that little padlock icon up in your browser's address bar? Well, today, we are going to pull back the curtain and find out exactly what that lock is doing. We're going to explore the fundamental rules that keep our entire digital world safe. So let's dive right in.
Seriously, think about it. We see it 100 times a day, but what is actually happening behind the scenes? It's a fantastic question, because that one tiny little icon, it represents this huge, incredibly complex world that's all designed for one purpose: to protect you.
And here's the good news. It might seem complicated, but it all starts with a very straightforward framework. Once you get the basic goals, all the fancy tools and acronyms start to make a whole lot more sense. So let's start right there, with the core principles.
The foundation of, and I mean literally everything in network security, is known as the CIA triad. And no, not that CIA. Think of this as our compass, the thing that guides every single security decision that gets made.
First up is confidentiality. This one's pretty easy to grasp. It's all about keeping secret. It just means that only the right people can see the information. Think about your medical records. You want your doctors and nurses to see them, sure, but definitely not the entire world. That right there is confidentiality in action.
Okay, next we have integrity. This is all about trust. It's the guarantee that the data you're getting is exactly the data that was sent, with absolutely nothing changed or tweaked along the way. A perfect real-world example: a prescription sent from your doctor to the pharmacy. You have to be 100% positive it hasn't been tampered with. That's integrity.
And rounding out the trio is availability. This just means that when you're allowed to access something, you actually can. The system has to be up and running. Just imagine a hospital's entire IT system crashing during an emergency. That would be a catastrophic failure of availability.
So, those are our goals: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The what. Now let's look at the how, the actual tools we use to make those goals a reality. And we're going to start with the tech behind that little padlock in your browser, something called TLS.
So, TLS, or Transport Layer Security, is the modern gold standard for keeping your communication private while it zips across the internet. Its main jobs are to stop people from eavesdropping on you and to prevent anyone from tampering with your data. By the way, it's the newer, much more secure version of an older protocol you might have heard of called SSL.
So how does it all kick off? With the process called the TLS handshake. And you can honestly just think of it as a 4-step secret handshake. First, your browser and the website server agree on the rules for their chat. Second, the server proves it's the real deal using a digital certificate. Third, they work together to create a secret key that only the two of them will know. And finally, boom, the secure connection is live and you can start sending data safely.
During that handshake, they're agreeing on some really critical details. For instance, the cipher spec is basically them deciding which secret code language they're both going to use for encryption. And the most important part? They create the master secret. This is a unique, one-time use key that's going to scramble and protect all the data just for this one browsing session.
And this, right here, is where it all clicks into place. See? TLS uses encryption, the scrambling, to provide confidentiality. And it uses something called message authentication to guarantee integrity, making sure nothing was changed. It's a direct, practical application of those big CIA principles we just talked about.
All right, so TLS protects our data while it's in transit, but we also need to protect our entire network from the wild west of the internet. We need, a digital bouncer at the door. And for that, we're talking about firewalls.
This image is just a perfect metaphor. A firewall is that fundamental first line of defense. It's the gatekeeper that stands right between your trusted internal network, your home or office network, and the completely untrusted public internet. So the whole point of a firewall is to be a single choke point. Every piece of data, whether it's coming in or going out, has to pass through it. This gives it the power to shield the network from attacks and to enforce the local security rules, basically deciding what kind of traffic gets a pass and what gets blocked at the door.
Now, not all firewalls are created equal. The most basic kind is a packet filtering firewall. It's super fast, but it's simple. It only looks at the address on the outside of the envelope. The more advanced version is an application-level gateway, or a proxy. It might be a little bit slower, but it's way more secure because it actually opens the envelope to read the letter inside. It inspects the content of the traffic itself.
But, and this is a really big but, it's crucial to know what a firewall can't do.
It can't protect you from threats that are already inside, like a disgruntled employee. And if the firewall lets an email through, it can't always protect you from a virus that's hiding inside that attachment. So yeah, they are absolutely essential, but they are not a complete cure-all solution.
Okay, so we've protected our data on the move, and we've put a guard at the gate of our network. Let's touch on one last, super important piece of the puzzle: identity. This is all about proving who you are and proving what you did.
And this brings us to the idea of authenticity. It's simply the process of proving you are who you say you are. I mean, every single time you type in a password or use your fingerprint to unlock your phone or use a digital certificate, you're authenticating yourself. It's the key that gets you through the door.
And tied really closely to that is non-repudiation. Now, this is a really powerful idea, especially when it comes to things like legal contracts or financial transactions. It provides absolute proof that a specific person did something, so they can't turn around and deny it later. And we make this possible with digital signatures, which act just like a unique, unforgeable seal on a digital document.
And there you have it. That's the whole journey. We started with the big ideas, the goals of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And then we saw how real-world tools that we use every day, like TLS and firewalls, take those principles from theory and put them into practice to keep us safe.
It's a system that works pretty well right now, but it is always changing. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In a world with things like quantum computing and advanced AI just around the corner, what will these fundamental security principles even look like tomorrow? Thanks for watching.